What we did in the first half, in the first 20 minutes, is nowhere near the level. So to do it after is too late. Yeah, we reacted, great, but the standards in those 20 minutes was unacceptable.
What do you put down to that first opening 20 minutes? Can you explain what they are? No?
I already done in the dressing room, yeah.
But you got a reaction in the second half, at half-time. So what did you say at half-time to your players?
It's about action, not reaction.
Was it the emotion attached to what happened in midweek? Maybe why your players, you feel, weren't on it in the first 20 minutes or so?
Then you don't have to be fighting for trophies, because when you fight for trophies, you might win it, you might lose it, and then it's another one, and that's it. So that's the level that we have to ask ourselves. You know, you just accept things, in my opinion, not acceptable.
Yeah, he's driving high standards, but I think the thing that really sort of stood out in the interview for me, and I think Mikel Arteta in the last couple of weeks in terms of his press conferences, he's saying things and he's getting emotional. And at times he's sounding like a little bit of a fan, not so much the manager. I think he mentioned something out there, he was really strong on how many players they've had sent off this season.
6, yeah.
6, he's putting his hand six. I think he's convinced inside that there's almost, they've been victims this season in some ways. You know, they've had the 6 sendings off, the injuries that they've had. I think deep down, I think he thinks they could have won the league without this, and that the red cards are not their fault. It was the referees and the injuries. Now, there's no doubt they'd be a lot closer if they hadn't had players sent off. But that's down to you, the sending off. They are down to you. They weren't all sendings off, of course. There was the one at Wolves, that probably wasn't. But that's going to happen in a season.
Jamie Carragher didn't hold back in his assessment of Mikel Arteta, accusing the Arsenal boss of sounding more like a fan than a manager after another emotionally charged post-match interview. Despite Arsenal clawing their way back from 2-0 down to earn a gritty 2-2 draw against Liverpool, Arteta appeared anything but satisfied. Goals from Gabriel Martinelli and Mikel Merino salvaged a point at Anfield after early strikes from Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz had the Gunners on the ropes. But rather than praise the comeback, Arteta's tone was bitter. The Spaniard slammed his side's first 20 minutes as nowhere near the level required and branded the performance unacceptable. He admitted he was really upset, adding pointedly, "We had a reaction, but I hate reaction. I like action." Carragher acknowledged Arteta's drive and passion, but questioned whether he was crossing a line. "He sounds more like a fan than a manager," the Sky Sports pundit said, suggesting the Arsenal boss may be letting emotion override perspective. With Arsenal still clinging to hopes of a top-4 finish, Arteta's fiery post-match demeanor may motivate the dressing room, or risk unsettling it. One thing's for sure, the pressure is mounting, and everyone's watching.